Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Triple N Media. I am Dr. Nik Nikam from Houston, Texas. This is COVID-19 World News, November 22nd, 2020. The main focus in this presentation is going to be Oxford University vaccine. Before we proceed any further, I would like to invite you to take a look at my COVID-19 pandemic book on Amazon.com, which was just released. It is an international and a personal guide to everyone dealing with COVID-19 and any other pandemics in the future. So let us begin with the feature presentation. As of today, there are more than 59 million cases of COVID recorded all across the globe, with almost 1.4 million deaths. Here in the United States, we have 12.6 million people who have been tested positive for coronavirus, with deaths exceeding 262,000. More than 7.4 million have recovered. If you focus across the globe, you will notice United States had 147,000 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday, compared to India, which had 44,000, and Italy 28,000, Russia 24,000, UK 18,000, Brazil. And as you can see, these numbers are significantly higher than the numbers we had seen in July or in the first wave of the COVID-19 during March and April. Here's a graph showing France's number of cases during March and April, and now during the second wave. One interesting observation is that most of the European countries are beginning to show a downtrend in the second wave, which is good news. Similarly, Germany has reached a peak. It seems to be leveling off, but we haven't seen successive down peaks in the German daily cases of COVID-19. Here is Italy, which is showing a round off of the tip, and hopefully it will come down in the coming days and weeks. Here's Russia, which has a different look. In the first wave, it had like 10,000 cases. Now it is approximating 25,000 cases per day, and still doesn't look like it has reached the peak. Here's the United Kingdom story, where it had like 5,000 cases. It peaked around 25,000 cases, and it seems to have rounded off and is showing a downward trend. Let's hope the downward trend continues. And here is the world map showing more than 600,000 new cases per day recorded, with 10,000 plus deaths on a daily basis. Here in the United States, we're going to look at some of the states which have been hard hit. For example, Illinois, which had less than like 3,000 to 4,000 cases, now experiencing almost 15,000 new cases per day, which is 5 times the number of cases that were noted in March and April. It is beginning to show a downward trend. We just have to wait and see as how quickly the downward trend continues. We have a different picture in California, where it had a peak during March and April, had a very significant surge in July and August. Now this third wave has surpassed the July and August peak. It is not clear whether this has reached a peak yet. Similarly, in Texas, we have an identical story. Here is the number of cases in March. Then in July, it reached almost 12 to 13,000, and it has reached a similar number, and we have to just wait and see if these numbers are coming down. Similar in case of Ohio, things are much worse. They had like less than 1,000 cases during March and April. It went up to almost like 2,000 cases, but now it's up to 7,500 cases per day, and it is not clear they have reached the peak at this time or the plateau. Thanksgiving is around the corner. But as the pandemic rages, more people are determined to travel during this Thanksgiving weekend. It has been estimated close to 50 million people will be traveling during this Thanksgiving weekend. The real story is going to be a week or two from now as to what is going to be the number of cases here in the United States after this massive Thanksgiving travel numbers. But on the other hand, the good news we got today was from AstraZeneca that the Oxford University vaccine has proven to be effective in 70% of the cases, and if they used a smaller dose during the first injection and a regular dose during the second injection, the protection rate was close to 90%. That is a great news for the United Kingdom and most of Europe, which has been ravaged by this second wave of the COVID-19. Let's take a little quick look at how vaccines are made. The SARS-CoV-2 virus, which is the scientific name for the COVID-19 virus, it has a capsule, and its amino acid chain, which is the RNA, is the brain and the body of the virus, which replicates itself once it gets into human cells. The characteristics of this virus are these spike proteins, which makes them possible to enter the human lung cells and the endothelial cells. The vaccines are using this spike technology and taking the sequence of the spike amino acids and incorporating them into viruses and replicate, so that when this virus is injected, which is going to be introducing these spike proteins, which are not the entire virus, as a result, the body will be producing antibodies against these spike proteins, which is exactly what we want the body to do, thus preventing getting the virus infection or the after effects of a virus entering the lung cells and the endothelial cells. Here is a more dramatic description of you take a chimpanzee adenovirus, which is harmless to human body, and to that you add this genetic makeup of the COVID-19 virus spikes and combine that and produce in large quantities these viruses which are injected into the human beings to produce the antibodies which prevents the virus from getting into the human cells. And here is a picture showing these antibodies blocking these viral spikes, thus preventing the entry into the cells. There are 4 vaccines which have reached the final stages, namely Oxford University AstraZeneca, which was just announced today, which has 62 to 90% effectiveness. One advantage of this Oxford AstraZeneca is it can be maintained in a regular refrigerator temperature, which enables it to be distributed all across the globe in remote places. Whereas Moderna and Pfizer vaccines have to be kept at minus 20 degrees to minus 70 degrees to make sure the vaccine is effective. The Gamaleya vaccine or the Sputnik 5 from Russia is supposed to be 92% effective, but none of us have been able to confirm the results of their studies, and this requires regular refrigerator temperatures. So ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, Pfizer and Moderna has the capacity to supply 20 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine in the month of December, and in year 2021 they will be able to provide 20 to 25 million doses of vaccine each month. We have made a great deal of progress from January, when the virus spread all across the globe, to November, where we have 4 vaccines that are available calm this second wave and hopefully get some control over this COVID 19 pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to COVID 19 World News. I am Dr. Nik Nikam. And before I conclude, I would like you to once again take a look at my book, COVID 19 Pandemic, an international and personal guide to pandemics. Thank you so much for watching this presentation. I am Dr. Nik Nikam from Houston, Texas. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will see you next time.